Hello peeps, Jordan is Great 505 here. Today I wanted to make a video checking out the history of the Spinosaurus. The Spinosaurus from Saurians evolved, that is. The Spinosaurus is my favorite dinosaur, and I always wanted to bring it to proper life, to have the peak Spinosaurus for my mod. And I wanted to go through its history of how it became the highly detailed creature it is today. The Spinosaurus had humble beginnings in Saurians Evolved 1 by Stupid Sid. The Spinosaurus in that mod was made to be chonky, like one of those 2014 reconstructions where they just add so much thickness to it. This made it a very big, swamp-dwelling creature, primarily preferring marshy and swampy areas on the island. It was kind of just a bigger Spinosaurus with less features, more like the classic Spinosaurus that Ark had before its TLC. So, even though it didn't offer much, it still was a pretty cool design that many people liked, especially Ghidorah. As you can see, he made this image of it. When I was given the rights to make Saurians Evolve 2, I didn't bring back the Spinosaurus because I actually really liked the Ark Spinosaurus as it is, and I didn't want to change it. The most I made was the Oxalia. It's a dubious species of Spinosaurus. I don't know if dubious is the right word, but people debate on its validity all the time, and it's from Brazil. And I wanted to make it as a more, upright standing Spinosaurus, kind of like what you'd see before the 2014 depictions. To differ it from the Spinosaurus that we had in Ark, because it used a TLC model, I gave it the ability to grab things. And also bleed, because everything in Saurians Evolved 2 had bleed. Because I thought everything should, and it ended up being a mistake. But it ended up being a pretty cool creature to have if you wanted to pick up creatures. With its big hands, it could do that. But other than that, it wasn't really that special. Like the original Spinosaurus, it preferred the marshy lands and swamp areas. Eventually, we did get another Spinosaurid, and the mod did have a bunch of other Spinosaurids. It was made by Ghidorah. He modeled up the Silgimasasaurus, which is another Spinosaurid species that's debated if it's actually a real thing or not, but we like to have Spinos, so we made all of them anyways. It's a much different take on a Spinosaurus, donning feathers and also having different female and male variations. The males having the brighter colors in the feathers, while the females had a more Spinosaurid look, and more duller colors, except for the red on them. These creatures were pretty good, as they were complete underwater tanks, with their ability to tail swipe with an electric hit, to roar, to gather wood. And these guys would just mind their own business in the wild, because at the end of the day, you're not a fish, so you're not food to them. They were pretty useful creatures to be tamed for many reasons, being complete powerhouses. Ghidorah made sure to give them custom animations and to model them right, and he did a really good job at it. Now, when it came to Saurians Evolved 3, or Primordial Expansion as it was known, we wanted to upgrade a lot of the dinosaurs. If you couldn't tell, a lot of the dinosaurs I've showed so far are just Ark models, but, with different reskins. Now, while that can work to convey a new creature, oftentimes people can tell what the original base is, and it completely destroys the illusion of a new creature. And it can be oftentimes really distracting. So going forward, we wanted to commission models and concept arts for the next mod. And a lot of the old creatures from the older mods would be remastered to have completely new takes on them. One of them being the Spinosaurus. when it came to remaking the Spinosaurus, we wanted to base it off the early 2000s Spinosaurus, the edgy and spiny and badass design it had. I just loved the early 2000s edge, and I wanted to have that with the Spino, as it's one of my favorite dinosaurs. Well, I should say it's my favorite dinosaur, sorry. So I did that. We used this toy as a base for the concept of it, as it provided a pretty good, design of what we wanted for Spino. And we also found another toy that gave a pretty good pattern design that we also wanted to implement onto this. I ended up commissioning C-Rig, our concept artist, to make some concept art. We chose 3 different skins, and the main concept was to kind of just to make a big, better baryonyx. You know, just to make something cool. It didn't have to serve any particular use, we just wanted to make something cool. Well, I wanted to. We made its roar, scare, and do ear bleed damage. We had it do a swipe attack that made blood loss happen. And it also could eat fish pretty well. We came up with 3 skins for it. The red, the blue, and the green one. Eventually these would be utilized. I commissioned a model maker to eventually bring this creature to life. And it had humble beginnings with its base sculpt being made, as we can see here. And eventually it did get textures. And it became the most high definition and expensive dinosaur of the mod at the time it was being developed in 2019. And it cost me like $100 on Fiverr. It's so expensive. And we got it. Then Ghidorah offered to weight paint it for me, and he ended up making custom animations for it, which ended up looking really good. The Spinosaurus, with its custom animations, using the baryonyx skeleton, made it really unique. It really felt like an apex predator, and it would be something to be scared of if it roared at you. While it usually would keep to itself, if you got too close, it would come and attack you. Ghidorah did a really good job at animating it, and I'm thankful that he did it for me. The new Spinosaurus has lore of its own, of course. The new Spinosaurus lived in swampy and marshy areas, feasting on the fish, ornithocristines, and other animals that lived in the swamps. It preferred tropical and rainy climate, so it could moisturize its skin and live a semi-aquatic life. The Spinosauruses also have been known to stray further into the ocean and live near beach areas rarely, going over the swamp to find bigger prey to hunt down, in case the swamp's food ran dry. The Spinosaurus was also one of the biggest creatures in the mod, with its normal and oceanic subspecies, dwarfing even the Amargasaurus. It was the first apex that was introduced into the mod, and as you can see, it had a subspecies. And I guess we should go into its subspecies. The first one I got was the oceanic one. As the blue and black patterns didn't really fit the normal Spino, we gave it to the oceanic one. These Spinosaurs primarily lived in deep oceans. Over time, I eventually gave it its own unique model, inspired by a Primal Carnage skin, and it made its fat a lot more, so it could survive the colder depths of the ocean, and it's much bigger due to the ocean gigantism. It's also much faster in the water and more suited for water. Over time, it could eventually evolve to be a completely aquatic species, if given the right circumstances. It being a very unique species of Spinosaurus, as to why it's a subspecies. The females of the species also possessed a different skin, also inspired by Primal Carnage. It would swim around in the ocean, hunting prey when it can find it, in the deep depths, rarely being seen as well. Some of the Spinosauruses that were found, the oceanic ones at least, unfortunately were hunted for their rarity, one of them being Xerocidon. Xerocidon was a very durable Spinosaurus, and unfortunately, he succumbed to a lot of abuse, causing him to have a very big bloodlust, and having an increased sense of smell, and becoming a very durable Spinosaurus with tons of damage done to his skin. The best thing you could do is put him out of his misery if you do encounter this beast, as he's living in enough pain as it is. In the more, deserted areas, the desert areas of the island or scorched earth, the Spinosaurus couldn't really survive, so a new subspecies evolved, the Spinosaurus altispinax. It convergently evolved to be like the altispinax, which is another spined-like dinosaur, possessing more green and black patterns to kind of blend in with the desert tropical plants. Its spine was used more as a cooling mechanism, and it worked wonders. Due to its new diet of flesh instead of fish, which I guess is flesh, but whatever, it evolved its jaw to be a little bit more shorter. They're more land-based and lost most of their aquatic features, but they're pretty useful tames for anyone who wants to travel in the desert and have a good meat gathering creature. Its design was inspired by classic retro depictions of Spinosaurus, being the more outdated T-Rex with spine look, and also based off the Carnivores Dinosaur Hunter one. Its size was kind of debated at first, but we went for a medium as it was voted. And here it is right next to Tyrannosaurus. Eventually, we did get skins for the mod, and one of the skins was a more, kind of classic sail for the Spinosaurus, along with the Oceanic and Altispinax models becoming skins that could be equipped on the Spinosaurus to be used. It even upsized it if you put it on the other Spinos. But as you can see, the skin worked pretty well, and it gave that... I originally wanted to have a spine more like this, but now it's a toggleable feature that you can have on it. As for the future of Spinosaurus, it's not only appeared in my Ark mods, it's also have been appearing in my Halo mods as you've seen, and it's been getting a lot of attention from that. While the model is a bit scaled down to fit in Halo 3's engine, it still works pretty good as one of the apex predators that will be fought. Now, the lore for the Halo mod is that the UNSC cloned dinosaurs to terraform planets, as dinosaurs can handle harsher conditions than most Earth animals can, as they can inhale a lot more oxygen. So that's why dinosaurs exist in the Halo universe. And I'm glad that this model managed to shine outside of Ark, because while the mod hasn't been the most popular, I'm glad that I can at least make it be noticed in a place outside of it. Now, what is next for the Spinosaurus? Well, there will be plenty more subspecies and different changes made to it over the time. One of the subspecies we wanted to add, and this is from... I couldn't find the artist of this art, so if anyone in the comments could tell me, please, because I'd like to credit them for this. Because all I could find is a Pinterest link, and Pinterest is really bad. Anyways, one of the subspecies we wanted to make was a smaller, more like kind of like a smaller Spinosaurus, like seen here. Well, it's not smaller, but it has a more sleeker build, and it would be found in like marshy areas, which I know the Spinosaurus already can be found, but I thought it'd be pretty cool to have. And maybe more feathered Spinosaurus variants. Now, more of the Spinosaurids will be eventually touched upon over the time. Suchomimus, for one, is going to return sometime, and I can't wait to make a video showcasing its evolution throughout the history of Saurians evolved. The Spinosaurus is one of my favorite dinosaurs, and I'm glad that it got its love that it deserved. I can't wait to see what else we do with the mod and see what other creatures will come into play. I'm glad to be back making videos on the mod, and I hope I can make more like this. Especially with the cozy feeling I hope this video style gives off. I hope this was a pretty good explanation of the Spinosaurus. Maybe I can make more ecological videos that explain the lore of these creatures in kind of a style like this. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good day or night. Goodbye.